this for some time, working with this for some time. Right.
Regarding what you ask about the actions in developed and developing countries, it is quite clear. IPCC is the scientific advisor to the Convention of Climate Change, and we are helping these people and the countries of the world, not only providing the information that Martin has been mentioning, but also IPCC is developing all the rules, all the guidance material to enable all the countries in the world to prepare their inventories of greenhouse gases, to know how this atmosphere is changing. As I mentioned to you, 2,000 million years ago, 80% of the atmosphere was carbon dioxide. When I was born about 85 years ago, it was something of 200 and let's say 300 parts per million of CO2. Now we have 380. And the air that my children, my grandchildren will breathe will be completely different, because all the humanity is producing a lot of pollution, which is really, I would say, impoverishing the relation oxygen, nitrogen, and other gases, to such an extent that, for instance, even when the freon or the hydrocarbons were invented, people said, these are beautiful gases. They are completely normal. They don't destroy in the surface. But suddenly, somebody thought, if this gas go up, just passing the stratosphere, and it can be the ozone problem. The ozone problem brought, logically, the political action in the world to create a convention on ozone and a protocol to try to diminish the production of these gases, as we did with the Kyoto Protocol with the climate change. And now, and this is a health problem in the world, or ecosystem problem, these gases, just mixed it in the atmosphere, are producing the trifluoric acid, which is a contaminant, which is appearing now on Earth, destroying ecosystem and most probably affecting the human health. So this is the problem. We have to see how we develop and how each of us, following the rules that the United Nations group pretends to establish in a world which might be ideal, we may ration the consumption, try to pollute less, and live in equity.
We'll take another question on this side of the room before we move over. Right here, please.
David Schuckman, BBC News. Given the dire nature of the predictions you're making, how do you think you can best convince the public that you're right?
I don't think they're dire. They're serious. I certainly don't think they're overstated. If anything, the IPCC tends to understate, because what it does, it consolidates knowledge. It doesn't produce frontier knowledge, like the Stern report, because we have to go through 3 or 4 reviews of 300 people and then get it past governments, 2 sets of reviews, and government people in here for 4.5 days, 50 hours. So it tends to boil it down. Right, the public. I think the public are ahead of us now. Most of the public. It depends on the age group, doesn't it, and where you are. But it seems to me that the public and the press are ahead of the science, sometimes too far ahead. Sometimes making connections that aren't there, and addressing policy issues that, in a sense, the science isn't able to answer. Let's take action, the press tells people, but it's quite difficult to recommend actions which are purely based on knowledge. One has to make some guesses.
Maybe we have to add that people is living in Europe. I was living in Switzerland for a number of years. The chestnut is growing earlier. Spring is coming earlier. Something happens. If you go to the Antarctic, the Adelaide penguin is not reproducing because the change in the ecosystem is bringing a lot of snowfall, just covering the eggs, and they cannot be just developed. So there are many things that are coming. If you find mosquitoes in Siberia, it's because the air is warmer. If you find trypanosomiasis in Patagonia, it's because the air is warmer. So these are facts which are really well presented in the film developed by Al Gore, and it's very clear there.
Can I add something to your question? I mean, you know the answer to it. You asked me, how do you think you can get your message to the public or convince the public? Well, this is it, isn't it? You're the connection, an absolute, hugely important linchpin. And I think one of the most important things is an experienced core of science correspondence and environment correspondence. Michael Williams said to me, they're all getting a bit old now, like Jeffrey Lean and Charles Clover and people like that. Mike McCarthy, the usual suspects. But, I mean, more seriously, I'm talking about their British environmental correspondents. They're all on holiday now, probably being Good Friday. But I think this is the key. It's the communication through knowledgeable media to the public that is making the difference now.
We'll move over to this gentleman here with the laptop in front of him.
Seth Bornstein, Associated Press for Dr. Perry. In the last 3 or 4 hours of the session, you had at least 3 scientists file official objections that the SPM was underplaying some of the science. You took out the very high confidence level in the opening the first bold state, bold-faced remark. You took out several parts of the iconic table, SPM 1 and 2. You took out 9 bullet points in terms of the especially affected areas. These are things you mentioned in your speech but aren't going to be in the SPM. You had people like Cynthia Rosenzweig file an official objection. How can you? Is there a problem in the whole format when you have scientists objecting to the way government officials are editing their document?
Very well informed, better than us. It was hard work, and we were working right through the night. Till 10 o'clock this morning. I mean, continuously. We took half an hour off at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was it. I mean, it was sort of tough. Sort of easier in the chair because you're acting the whole time. Acting. Yeah, you're in action the whole time. But sitting around is extremely tiring. There's nothing more tiring than sitting for hours in a meeting. And I think that's one aspect. But it's certainly true. What I mean is, tensions. And very long debates teasing out points. But as several of the scientists said to me afterwards, although the process is painful, you do get a tighter document at the end, but you do lose things. And it does put us on our toes. That's not to say I think we ever presented drafts that weren't completely waterproof, but making the connection to policy and convincing delegates who are members of the IPCC that these are truly relevant policy issues that need to find a place in only 15 pages. You're boiling down 1,000 pages to 15. But we had some tight times, and I think there is a different. The scientists went out there for 3.5, 4 years to do their best assessment. They come here and they present their best task, and then they find 200 or 300 people making judgments on it. That's a tough one. And there were some occasions when people walked, but they're back here now in this room, and I can see them. And that's good. But it's a good, tight process. And the real key to it is that governments buy in. It's an intergovernmental process. That's the real secret. 4.5 days, but much more than that. They've seen the document 2 or 3 times. It becomes their document, the summary, not the scientists. Governments buy into it. So the IPCC remains a sort of baseline of knowledge. You may get big reports, identifying issues, but at the end of the day, if the IPCC continues to be successful as it is, then this process is a key to it. Painful it may be, but it creates the intergovernmental agreed baseline of information. We may not be right at the frontiers, but we consolidate what we truly know. What others truly know, we consolidate.